All right. Good evening, folks. My name is Vivek. I'm representing mConnect team. Along with me, I got Stephanie Emery, I got Umesh Pai, and Dr. Singh along with me. Uh, you must be wondering, we are in 2018 and we are talking about this mobile application. We should be talking about AI, blockchain, cybersecurity, or maybe machine language. But the reason I'm talking about mConnect, I will come back to it. But before that, let's look at this great job done by the North Carolina community across the state, starting from Wake County, going all the way up to Asheville, down in Southville, in the Fayetteville, and also in Charlotte. The key thing is this is the foundation of the future. This is the impressive work. This is the foundation of the smart community and the smart city. What we mean is that in this space, technology, people, and government need to come together. And wherever in this region, wherever the region where the committee which is going to do it right is going to go forward in the future. So I just want to take this moment to say great job by all the people who are behind this portal and the people outside this room. Also, I want to take this opportunity to say, NC Datapalooza, thank you for giving us this opportunity. This means a lot to us. Thank you. Now, answer to my question, why mConnect? I think this is the beautiful picture which we got here. We all know, but the key thing is the color code. We got 6 urban counties and we got 94 non-urban counties, and out of that, 80s are the rural counties. I come from a small town of Morrisville. I don't have the open data yet. But if you go down to the green region, we have more challenges there. Our problem statement is more complex and demanding. We are dealing with some basic issue. We are dealing with the digital divide, broadband access issue, budgeting issue, and even the resources to support and update the website or even update the social media. So we, as a stakeholder of this state, if we as an open source community advocate, we want Amazon and Apple to come to our state, we got to build the products and solutions which not only going to make the impact into this urban county, but we pull the rural counties along with us. That's where our value proposition is. So as an mConnect, knowing that we are trying to make the impact in all small towns across the North Carolina, knowing that we don't have the big data, we don't have the small data into the small town, we are trying to work with the minimal data, which is very important, which is used by day-to-day citizen. That's our story from the data point of view. We made this offering mobile so that we can go to every resident using the mobile technology. Our offering is cost-effective, is scalable model, and we got a great user experience. Stephanie and I worked in our HOA for good 8 to 10 years. And during this time, we found this experience is broken. Keeping that in perspective, we created this beautiful application called mConnect, which you can download from Google or from the Apple Store. Umesh from my team did a wonderful job in creating the user experience, which is very simple, clean, and delightful. We also brought the element of text, pictures, and video together. We take a pride in claiming that we wrote the first application for town of Morrisville. Also, one thing which has also happened during the past couple of years is the rise of social media, which we cannot avoid in the civic engagement. Two big problems. One is the privacy. Second is that not everybody is going to be in the same social media platform. So what do we do from the civic engagement point of view? Where does the future lies? And the answer lies into our crystal ball. Yes, we call this a crystal ball because it gives the story of the past, present, and the future. If you look at the past, the quadrant 1 is where the town started. From the quadrant 2 and 3 is what we call is the present. That's where the action is happening right now. And we predict that more mobile application and more solution is going to come in the quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Now, the quadrant 4 success is going to be dependent on the open data readiness at the state level, county level, and at the town level. It's a sweet spot for the city of Raleigh, sweet spot for the Durham, is a sweet spot for town of Cary. But quadrant 3 is also a sweet spot for all small towns across the North Carolina. So in terms of progress, what we have done, Dr. Singh from my team and I spent a lot of time from September on, but even before that, reaching out to the various towns. We visited 22 towns across the Wake County. We met great people around this in these counties. And one thing which we learned is all the pain points. What are the pain points that the small towns have? And we started our journey from the town of Morrisville, and we are very proud to enable 2 small towns in North Carolina in the Harnett County, town of Coates and town of Lillington. Town of Lillington, great success story this year. Town of Lillington PIO, Marsha is sitting over here to cheerlead us. Marsha, thank you for coming. It means a lot to us. Town of Lillington, Marsha got only 1 hour training. Well, guys, only 1 hour training. And after that, this team has done a fantastic job in taking this application and engaging the civics, all the residents during this hurricane season. They were notifying, giving the safety alerts to the residents before the hurricane, during the hurricane, after the hurricane. We believe that mConnect has a wonderful bridge and technology which connect the resident with the first responder. We just started here. More success stories going to come from town of Lillington. Marsha, thank you very much for being over here. Town of Courts, Nick Holcomb, great guy, young guy, doing great job in his town. The moment we spoke to him, he said, Vivek, I got it. I think we got to do something for my town. Everything is moving forward here. We got the app deployed. It's being verified by the town. They are going to use it. But as usual, as I mentioned earlier, is the budgeting and the resources issue, which he's working on that. I'm sure that we are going to cross through that hump very soon. And we are going to get more story coming out from the town of Courts. And also, we got a few more towns in the pipeline. And as we go forward, you are going to hear more from us. So in terms of the scalability, we are working this project in agile mode. That is fail fast, do it right, do it in baby chunks, and believe that what we got is right. We need to keep the current momentum, and we need to keep on doing what we are doing. But same time, we need to keep on listening to folks like you, understand from folks like you, and try to improvise whatever we can do going forward. If needed, we can go and make the model to cloud if needed. And I will wrap up by making a very bold statement here. I have a great team here. I have a great talent here. We got a great product here. If we get a support from people like you, if we get a support from the town leaders, and town is ready to work with us, within 6 to 12 months, we can enable each and every small town in North Carolina. With that, thank you, judges. Thank you, audience, for listening to me. And I will invite my team to come and join me here for the Q&A. Thank you. Hello.
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 Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
It was another great presentation. My first question really quickly is, how have you changed or adopted the design with feedback either specifically from town staff or users?
So I think it's a multiple ways to do that. First of all, we collect the feedback in terms of what need to be changed immediately in the short term and what need to be changed in the long run. And we need to understand the gravity and the seriousness of that. One of the good feedback which I got from Marsha is that she wants to update the application while she's on the move, that from the iPad, and we don't have that functionality right now. So of course, that's something is in backlog. We are going to work on that. But as a typical agile way, we are working on the backlog and prioritizing it based on what we need to in terms of priority.
So one of your slides actually mentioned since September 22nd, you've been focusing on marketing and engagement and I believe training.
Yes.
Was the application completed before that date? Or I do know that you're working with agile technology. So what have you done towards the app since that date?
Sure. Thank you for asking that question. So more effort is on more marketing engagement. As you could see, our application, so answer to your question, application is already ready. The way this application is done is that we call it the Lego block. It's already, we got the blocks ready. If a town is ready to work with us, we can immediately customize it and takes us 3 to 4 weeks to deliver that app, right? So we got the product ready. The challenge comes from the marketing side because town engagement takes time, right? It's a time you need to find their calendar, sit with them, understand what they need. They need to go through their proper channel and the due diligence they need to do. So that's where our most of the efforts are going on there, to working with them and trying to understand how we can we move forward. Like Nick is a great example that he's ready to go forward. So our effort is that to give them the marketing plan. That one is that giving them the app. Second is that town is not a marketing team there. A lot of small town does not have the marketing team. So show them the path that this is how you should do the content strategy. This is how you should do the marketing strategy.
How do you sustain your business?
Sure. I think this is I would say day one that you get started, right? I think I believe in there's 4 things to start the business, right? You get the product right, get the team right, get the customer, and get the finance in place. So what we have today is a very minimal viable option where we are running with the shoestring budget. Of course, we all work full-time, we all full-time job. This is a pursuit of happiness journey, but same time, pursuit of happiness cannot go long beyond 2 towns, right? So definitely our goal is to do it on the cost basis, but we are basically working in a model where we collect the sustaining costs, the hosting costs, the certificate costs, right? That we definitely expect the town to pay at some point of time. That's where we are putting our business model in place. But absolutely, without getting a small participation from the town, we cannot sustain this for long.
What sort of metrics do you use to track the progress of your app? Either how quickly people are downloading it, or can you also tell how regularly they're engaging?
Sure. So the way, Laura, again, back to the question, I'll piggyback on that, is the marketing plan, right? Getting app is first thing, right? When you get app, now town managers and the town officials know that. Second part is that how do you take it out to your broad sets of user? And it's a goal, right? It's a ticket time. It's a 6-month plan, 9 months plan. So I think, but working with, if I take the LinkedIn as example, we have put together a plan with Marsha that we got a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and we are going to do certain things on wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3. So along with that, we got content strategy defined. Along with that, we got some event strategy defined. Along with that, we got some messaging strategy defined. And then, of course, how many downloads are happening to the app, how many comments are people giving back to the town. So we are trying to put together all those quantitative data to gauge our success.
So I have a question. Where is the open data in your platform? How is it being generated? How are you consuming it?
So Chris, if you don't mind, if I just refer my second slide, which I mentioned earlier, right? That if you look at the small town, there's not much structured open data out there, like an open data portal, which you can go and start using it and start doing integration and say, let me pull the APIs and get the data. So that part is not there. What I call is that the usage of the data in our application is unstructured data. Now, what is that unstructured data for us in this application? All the information which you can pass through the website. That's one example. Second is that town provides some spreadsheet data where you go and requesting. There's a data which you can use and you can upload that. Third is the social media. Town is pushing out a lot of information out there. So we are basically curating that information and pushing it out to the application. So to me, it's just a very basic thing which we are doing earlier, and we are calling it MBO data.
Okay. I do like the fact that you are working with communities that don't have as much resources. I'm curious as to specifically, in order for a community to partner with you, what do they provide? I mean, you mentioned spreadsheets, but specifically, what type of data and how do you help them structure that data? Because I do know that there's some challenges with data quality.
So I think that's a great question, and my councilman is sitting just behind you. Steve is a great champion of understanding what is needed for the small town open data. And that's, again, another segue of this application is that we really want to work with people like Steve and other town leaders who understand the need of this open data, which need to be open. I mean, I came from India 20 years back. I did not knew how the North Carolina would be that if you go outside the Wake County. If you ask my kids, Wi-Fi is democratic thing, is always exist, right? So I think it's very important for people like us to go out, work with our town leaders, Steve Rao, and many people who understand what this technology can do to the small town. And as I said, knowledge is the key. We need to connect our small town with this super highway. So I think we get a lot of, there's a lot of can be done. So like if I take example of town of Morrisville, when we started working with them, we still have some plan. I think we're going to get there. It's a matter of timing. Is that now we are getting some regular email. Now, anytime anything happens in the town, we are the first people, as the press release goes out, comes to us. But then there are certain challenges there that we just want to make sure that is authentic, that right person is using it. There's a liability and other issues which comes along with that. So short answer to your question is that I think we still have a long way to go into the small town, but we are in America. And if we say that we cannot do it, we need to look back and do something different.
So, like, to actually answer the question, what are the minimum requirements for a town to adopt the tool?
The tool is that, first of all, we've always said to Marsha, when we walked in at 4:55, we knocked the door. Mr. Jeffrey, we just want to come in. He said, why? He said, this is the value proposition. We said, first thing is that we want to partner with you. Right? We are not doing it for money. Again, money is the part to make it sustainable, but it's more to make it sustainable. So So work with us. Number one, we need your commitment here. We need partnership over here. You tell us what you're doing. We can improvise it. And then our requirement is very simple, that give us 5 things. And after that, 4 weeks, we are going to get your application onto the Apple and the Google Store.
So what are the 5 things?
5 things are that those the content like the social media handles, which they have certain data which they need, what are the things they want to prioritize, are they using certain website, like some of the websites are not in HTML5, so I think that, so we collect all that information from that.